I was looking for this parasite, and we would go village to village to village. The mother came with a little baby, and the baby was breathing very difficult, and the ribs were showing. This is a bad sign. This usually means 24 hours to live. It's a bad sign. I had no medicines, but I had heard that if you take something from the fig tree, and I told the mother, take a machete, just a little bit, teaspoon, twice a day. And she looked at me like I was nuts, and so did everybody else. And off we went to other villages, and we came back 2 or 3 weeks later. The whole village came out. And the mother was bringing out this baby, this beautiful baby. It was a miracle. It was really fantastic.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Through with a Splash of Tea, a podcast where conversation is key. I'm your host, Cass, and let's get right into it. So today's guest is a true force of nature, a visionary in medicine, leadership, and living life to the fullest. I'm honored to introduce Dr. Gary Epler. Dr. Epler is an internationally renowned Harvard Med professor, best-selling author, medical pioneer, and so much more. His career spans from founding 3 health-focused companies, running marathons across the world, delivering babies, and even saving lives in the Amazon rainforest. From the CDC to Boston Celtics, from medical innovation to Hollywood screenwriting, Dr. Epler's story is nothing short of extraordinary. So let's dive into it. But first things first, thank you, Dr. Epler, for being here with us today.
Well, great.
You like that?
I love the story.
Yeah. Had to make a hook.
It's been fun.
I bet. All right. So we're going to start at the beginning. I need to know a little bit about your background because I think that pours a lot into who we are today as adults. So let me know a little bit about your upbringing.
Oh, well, let's start with the upbringing in Montana. Why don't we try that? We'll start in Montana. And it's just a great place. Went to high school there and then off to a medical school at Tulane in New Orleans. And I loved that place. New Orleans was just great. The school was fantastic and the people were wonderful. But I got to discover a parasite when I was in medical school down in South America. You talked about the Amazon. and it was very exciting to discover this. And there's so many stories, but I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one.
Go into the story because I love stories. I'm just going to ask you before we get too far from it. Did you always know you wanted to be in the medical field, or what happened? How did we get there?
No. I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay.
I mean, who knows what they're doing at 18, 20 years old. And I was at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. And I must say, I really didn't know what I was doing. I kind of liked biology and science, so I did that. And then, and I was down in New Orleans at Tulane, and I was walking to the street toward the medical school, and I saw someone in a wheelchair. And I says, I want to help that person. And that was it. I just decided I want to help that person. And that's how I did it. And it's the best thing I ever did.
Oh, my goodness.
That's how I got started.
Oh, I love it. It's so natural. So all right, I want to do this. So I'm going to do it.
That's what I would do. That was
all right, go into your story. I apologize for cutting you off.
Okay, so many stories down in the Amazon. I was looking for this parasite, and we would go village to village to village. And we were at one, and in the meantime, I was looking at specimens from people, and they brought one in, my colleague, and I thought, this is a massive infection, massive. And I need to know who the person is, and so the mother came with a little baby, and the baby was breathing very difficult, and the ribs were showing. This is a bad sign. This usually means 24 hours to live. It's a bad sign. I said, we've got to do something. I had no medicines, but I'd heard that if you take something from the fig tree, they go on, little fig tree. And I told the mother, take a machete, just a little bit, teaspoon, twice a day. And she looked at me like I was nuts, and so did everybody else. And off we went to other villages, and we came back 2 or 3 weeks later. The whole village came out. And the mother was bringing out this baby, this beautiful baby. It's just, it was a miracle. It was really fantastic. And so that was just one of the stories. And so there it is. And later, Pfizer went down, and they actually commercialized that particular it was medications for that. It was a parasites. Yeah. So there you go.
Wait, okay. So, oh my goodness. First of all, oh my goodness. Secondly, how did you know? You just read that the fig tree would potentially fight the parasite?
Yeah. I was at Cali, and there was a medical school there, and one of my associates was with me, and I heard it through him, and he was telling me about it, and so it was through that medical school. So.
Oh my goodness.
Go.
Okay, well, for myself and my listeners who have never been to medical school or don't really know the process, right. Let's talk about that a little bit. So you were at Tulane, but the reason that you were in South America is to continue your medical studies, correct?
No, this was during the summer. It was a project.
Project.
Yeah, and I volunteered for a project.
And the project was to find this parasite?
Yes, that was it. And so then, in the second year, I wanted to go back. And they said, oh, no, the project manager can't go. He's actually worried about it. He was a professor, and he had children, and his wife didn't want him to go down there. It's too dangerous. I said, I'll be the manager. I'll be the project manager. And he said, oh, okay. And so I got to go a second year.
Nice. And you were the project manager that year?
Oh, yeah.
And that was your first time managing a project?
I had no idea what it was.
You just wanted to go.
It was great. It was good. So there you go.
I love that. Okay, so let's transition a little bit past your Tulane experience. How long were you at Tulane, and where did you transition after that?
Yeah, that's 4 years. In medical school is 4 years.
Okay.
And then the big day is called internship. They call it match day. An internship means your next step. You'd be an intern for 1 year. And all my colleagues were going off to Harvard and to Johns Hopkins. And everybody's excited. And they say, did you get your first choice? I said, oh, yeah. Going to Harlem Hospital in New York City. They say, you what? What do you do? What? And best thing I ever did. And the reason was, I said, I want to be able to take care of anything, anywhere, at any time. And I met the objective in spades. And so there it was. I did my year at Harlem Hospital. Internal medicine. So I rotated through emergency room and all the subspecialties. And it was an experience.
That was a very big learning experience.
Learning experience, yes. But I did meet my objective. Any time, any minute, any place in the world, I can take care of it. So,
which was the goal?
That was it. So,
and it also seems like moving isn't a big deal to you.
Oh, no.
You'll go anywhere.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we did a year at Harlem Hospital. That taught you about anything and everything.
That's right.
And then after Harlem Hospital, do you get the choice to stay if you like the location that you're at, or do you have to keep transitioning?
Yeah, well, you stay usually, but it was during the draft. People were getting drafted in Vietnam and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I chose to go into the Navy, and then I was accepted at the Center for Disease Control, CDC. So I served my 2 years that way.
Okay.
So there.
The CDC, you want to talk about that a little bit? How that was?
Yeah, it was really good. The officer came to me and said, "What's it going to be? What do you want to specialize in?" VD, venereal disease, or tuberculosis. I said, "I think I'll take TB." I think I'll take TB. So there you go.
The TB slots.
Yeah. That made a pulmonary disease. So that was a very good 2 years.
Wait, so that was your introduction to like pulmonary diseases and TB and diving into it?
Yes, that's where I learned about TB, pulmonary from there. So that's well, that would have been infectious disease in COVID and all of that. And then I'm really glad I went into the pulmonary and critical care.
Yes. All right. I'm going to ask you a specific question. What's BOOP?
Oh, there we go. So I got to discover that parasite in medical school. And then I went on to pulmonary because I liked the TB thing, and I was accepted up here in Boston. And during my training, it's 3 years, you do 1 year research, and my colleagues were all doing cells and that kind of laboratory thing. I wanted people. I got to see people. And so he had a big computer with 5,000 or 6,000 lung diseases, and I picked one about bronchiolitis obliterans, so that's the B and the O, because nobody knew anything about it. In medical school, I remember putting my hand up and said, "What is this?" The professor says, "It's a mystery, nobody knows." And I remembered that way 4 or 5 years later. And so I typed that in, found it, and I found 100 cases. And 50 of them had never been described before. And so I wrote that up, and it's called Organizing Pneumonia, O and a P. So the bronchiolitis obliterans is filling up the small airways, bronchioles, rather than the big ones, the bronchi. And organizing pneumonia is filling up the lungs with inflammation. So that's BOOP. That's the BOOP. And then that was published. And then I was sort of lecturing all over the world about it. And I got to see patients at the Brigham for that. And I loved that. My favorite part of seeing patients, they'd come in with the whole family, sometimes very desperate situations, and they'd always feel better when they left. And because they were in charge. The whole point is you got to be in charge of it. You can't let the disease charge you. Yeah. And so they always left, and I always enjoyed that. And then I put myself out of business 4 or 5 years ago because I taught everybody how to treat it and how to diagnose it. They didn't need me anymore, which was good. So I accomplished the whole thing. And then since then, I've been doing the health. So keeping people out of the ICU.
Are you proud of your contribution to bronchiolitis?
Oh, it's been amazing. It really has. It actually literally saved some lives, thousands of lives, and it's been very, very exciting.
Yes. All right. Well, you're a man of many hats, which I'm sure my audience has realized by now. So we're going to transition to a different hat, which is your author role, because you've written a few great books.
Yes.
Let's talk about that and like your interest in even entering the author space or the book space. Like what initiated that? And then secondly, let's talk a little bit about your books and everything you've written.
Sure. It turned out, as I said, when I saw patients, they always felt better. And so I said, well, I'll write a book about how to manage disease, to be in charge. The doctors aren't in charge. The nurses aren't. The person is, you are. The patient is in charge. And so the whole first book was how to be in charge of your disease. And because it can save your life. And the first one is to know everything there is about the diagnosis. The second thing is know everything there is about the diagnostic process, because that can be dangerous. And then you say yes, you better make sure that you know it's going to be worth it, because it will be dangerous, the diagnostic process. And then the treatment. And the thing about the treatment options is to know everyone and know what happens if you don't do anything. Because in this clinic, when I was seeing patients with BOOP, most of the time, I was seeing too much treatment. Not enough. It was too much steroid, and for that particular purpose. And so what happens if you don't do anything? Because sometimes that's the best thing to do. And so those are the treatment options. And then the fourth is to monitor it. And monitor it. And I have a 48-hour rule. 48-hour rule is if it gets better, stay the course, right? That's pretty easy. If it's the same, give it another 48 hours. Okay. If it's worse, then maybe you should call up and see what's going on, right? Because we all have aches and pains every day. Well, it's this one, it's that one. You give it a little time, see what happens. And if it's serious enough, you'll go to the emergency room. So it's always good. So that was the first book. And then I wrote special books about Boop and asthma and so forth. And now I have some new books coming out. So.
You enjoy writing?
I do because my whole mission in life is to anything I can do to improve people's lives. Anything. And that's one thing. So, I enjoy it, yeah.
Why is that important to you?
Why is what?
To improve people's lives. Why?
Because that's as I say, that's my mission. I enjoy it and it feels good. And it's my alpha quantum channel. that is something that is brand new. Nobody knows about the alpha quantum channel. That's my new book. And we'll talk about that.
You heard it here first, folks. I'm so excited.
You are the first. Yeah, there you go.
All right, switching to a new hat, because you wear 36 of them. Let's talk about the runner. Oh. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a runner. He's a track star. He runs everywhere. Tell us a few places that you've ran and why it's important for you to run. Why do that? Why does it matter?
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. First time I was playing tennis over at the Harvard courts in Cambridge. And I ran around the courts, ran around the outside. It was a little track there. And I said, gee, this is kind of nice. And I kept running. I thought this is nice. And that was it. And the Falmouth Road Race came up a couple of years later and ran that. And then I just kept running. I just did every day, isn't today, and all the time we go running. And the big story, I was running along the Charles River, training for the New York Marathon. It was in October, and it was 5:30 in the morning. Someone was running to the Science Museum. Someone was coming toward me. So, who's that? And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and I made the U-turn, and that's my future wife.
Is that even your wife? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. You were going there. Yeah, I love love. So we're going to go down this.
And that was so long time ago.
You like your wife running?
Yeah, absolutely. And so we would run together at 5:30, and I was training for that New York Marathon. And our first date was at Cheers. There's, if you've ever seen that TV show, there's a restaurant above it. And I didn't recognize her. She didn't know because we had clothes on, our running gear. But and our second date was the Celtics run around Boston. It was October. It was the Halloween. Everybody dressed up. We were kind of conservative. Second date. And then our first anniversary, I said, we had to run a marathon together. And I said, I don't want to lose my way here because that's a lot running. And so we started practicing and running and running for a marathon. You need to do 20-mile run 3 weeks before on Saturdays. Boom, boom, boom. And we would run up to Wellesley and back, and that was 20 miles. And at the end, we would get a Steve's ice cream, a hot fudge. But the training was wonderful because we were running along, and when you run along, you're in Alpha 12, and that's that. We'll get to the Alpha 12 channel. But it's a very wonderful state to be in. It's like meditation, but you're moving.
It's like the runner's high, but in unison?
Yeah, together. Yeah, it just was great. And the training was really, really nice. And then, so the first marathon was in Athens. It was the Greek marathon.
Wait, the first marathon you guys did together was in Athens?
Yeah, that was it. And it was in kilometers, and it was 40 kilometers, the bus. And it just kept going. The last 40 kilometers is 26 miles was a kilometer. But my wife she was all excited. But we were running, we got into the city limits of Marathon, of Athens. And she says, "Oh, where's the taxi?" I said, "What? What? Taxi? Taxi?" And we had met somebody from South Africa the night before. And he said, "Hey, your wife's a little hot." And he dumped a whole garbage can of water on top of her. And she said, Oh, okay, I'm good. She's had a little minor heat stroke, but she was fine. so we and then ran around the Coliseum, the Coliseum, and the little American flag. It was fantastic. So there you go. And we've run since, and now we do the BAA medley, which is 3 runs. We did the 5K with the Boston Marathon. It's on the Saturday. About 10,000 people or so. We go up and come back. And then a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing the 10K in Boston. And then in the fall, we do the half marathon. So we've done a few of those, and it's fantastic.
You still love to run?
We do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, every morning. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice.
What's your wife's name, Dr. Epler?
So what?
What's your wife?
Oh, Joan. Great name.
How long have you and Joan been married?
Well, it's been, that's what I said, along that Charles River is 1983, so 42 years. It's fantastic. It's been great.
Okay, my last Joan question, I promise.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about her?
Oh, it's easy. She gives. She doesn't take. That's really nice. And that's the way I am. That's the way we are together. We just give. Just give. Unconditional. It's from the heart. If you give from the heart, you don't want anything back. You don't even think about getting things back. That's conditioned. And if you think from the head, you want something back, right? But it's from the heart. So she gives. And the next thing about, she is fantastic about bringing out the best in people. She's just amazing. She talks to everybody. She's a talker. I'm not much of a talker. Like, she's a talker. She likes it. She just brings out the best in people and makes them feel good. That's amazing. So
that is amazing. Hopefully one day I get to meet her. I feel like I will.
Oh, yeah.
I feel it in my bones. All right. We're going to go to your ability to deliver babies.
Oh.
That's a little different from the lungs.
Oh, that's absolutely the craziest thing. I was in medical school, and I knew I wasn't going to go into that as a specialty, the surgery. I was going into medicine, so it's a different kind of track. So I said, I got to deliver some babies, know what to do. And so I went to a little clinic outside of Louisiana, way out in the bayous. And so I was the doctor and the professor, so there were 2 of it. And so I got to deliver about 100 babies, and absolutely loved it. Oh, I just loved it. I just way out there. And one afternoon, a stretcher came in, and a woman came in and says, "Oh, congratulations, you delivered my 20th baby. You just handed me the baby. What's your name?" She ran out of names. So there's a little Gary running around somewhere, not little now. So I enjoyed that.
That's such an honor. And so essentially when you're in medical school, you get to try different branches of medicine. And then you just choose whatever you'd like to move forward with.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. So you loved the experience of delivering babies. How did you know that that's not what you should be doing?
Oh, it was before. I mean, I knew that medicine, it's called internal medicine. You diagnose and treat. Surgery, you operate. And OB and GYN, those are kind of the operating types, the surgery types. And so I
you were on the other side.
Right. But I wanted to take advantage of it, learn as much as I could.
Yeah.
And it paid off. I loved it.
Have you ever been in a situation? Well, I know that you have, so I'm not going to ask it. But I was going to say, have you ever been in a situation where someone's like, "We need a doctor"?
Oh, yeah.
Or have you ever been in a situation where a woman's like, "Oh, I'm having my baby," and you've had to spring into action?
I haven't had the baby yet. I could. That's why I say I can handle anything, any minute, right this moment. But no, I've had, and I do volunteer if somebody says on the airplanes and highway and things. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, before we talk a little bit about the Celtics, because we have to brush up on that a little bit. I want you to talk to my listeners for a second, because my listeners aren't very young, but there's like, the vaping trend is like the new thing or whatever. I feel like it used to be like cigarettes in the 90s. In the 90s when they used to have the Camel commercials, I know you remember them. And like all the kids looked so cool and they'd like stop doing them. I never wanted to smoke, but I always wanted to be one of those kids. But I feel like vaping has become the new like cool trend. Like my little sister will tell me people vaping in the bathrooms and things like that. Of like middle school, I'm like, this is kind of crazy. So let's talk about like, maybe not like how bad vaping is, but let's just like be real about it. Like, what are things that people can like what are they walking into by like vaping all the time or regularly? Like, what does that do to your body?
Well, it's a habit. Number one, it's a bad habit, and it's a habit. Any habit is bad. You shouldn't have any habit, really, a bad habit. So that's number one. You just shouldn't have it, no matter what it does.
Just no.
It's just, and secondly, it can cause bronchiolitis, obliterans, boom, it can cause that. So it can cause things just like cigarette smoke. Just like everything else. So it's a bad habit. And you talked about the 50s. Everybody was smoking. Remember that? They had doctor advertisements. And then someone came along and said, that causes lung cancer, emphysema, all this. And they proved that it did. And finally, it took, 40 or 50 years, but people now don't smoke cigarettes, which is fantastic. And it's going to be the same with vaping. It's just not a cool thing to do. Yeah. And right now, the biggest habit and the most dangerous habit, just like smoking and lung cancer, cell phone addiction. It's absolutely destroying the world. I mean, it is really, really bad. People don't realize how bad it is. Cell phone addiction is real easy to identify. You walk around with a cell phone in your hand. And number one, lots of deaths. Lots of deaths. Driving, killing other people, plus not paying attention, getting killed off, so that causes death. Oh, that's not cool. And the second thing, it's changing society. People are not friendly. Because it turns you're not friendly if you're addicted to that phone. You got your little group, whatever that is. And that group is negative. It's not positive. There's about 5% of the time may be positive. 95% is negative. It's either criticism, judgment, or it's criticizing somebody. It's complaining, whining, all these negative things. Exposed to that 24 hours a day, that kid, that's not healthy because it makes you cranky. And that's a huge, huge problem. And I work out in the gym. I do my running, but I also work out every day. And they're the cell phone addicts. I call them cell phone zombies. They look like zombies. Their heads down and drooling. And when they walk by one particular person, he is so addicted to that phone. When he walks by, it's like a human doesn't even walk by. He's lost all human feelings and energy. It's a serious problem. So there you go. And they're easy to stop. Leave it out of sight in public. That's all you got to do. You work out, leave it in the locker. You don't need it. And anyway, that's a huge problem. And I don't like it in the gym because I love to talk to people in the gym and I like to work out. And when you work out, it's nice to have somebody kind of support you, Hey, give me a little bit of help here, Nothing. And so it's an issue. But hopefully it will soon be solved and I mean, the cell phone's fantastic. You can't live without it, but really the addiction is a problem. So there you go.
And not to like beat a dead horse, but I do want to say I think it's a little different for like us and people older than us because we got to experience life without it. So we know, like, I always notice it when I go into, because I work a 9 to 5 still. So whenever I go into like our break area, like our cafeteria, the amount of like single, like one person, like
not one.
Like it's just everyone's just like looking at their phone, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's no like conversation or community happening, no conversation. But like when I'm watching like a 90s sitcom and they cut to like break room, it's everyone talking, laughing, cackling.
That's right.
It's always that, and I'm like, wow, like that's how it really used to be. Like I remember, like.
So what do you think of that?
It's a double-edged sword because I think it's really sad because I'm big on community. I love conversation. So we're harboring this generation, especially the COVID generation that had to finish school via Zoom. That like when they go into the real world, you can tell like the awkwardness when they don't. And like, I feel bad for that. Like I feel bad. But then on the flip side, it's all due to the advancement of technology. And because of the advancement of technology, we've been able to do so many amazing things.
That's right.
So it's like, I don't love how it's detaching us from community, but technology does so many positive things. Right. We can't do away with it.
Oh, no, don't want to do away with it. No.
But we need to figure out
it's
a way to prioritize.
It's the addiction that needs to be solved. It's not, oh, no, don't need to want to go.
But can we solve the addiction of it all without forcing people to dial back? Can we do that?
I don't know, but that's the only issue. It's not the phone. It's not the issue.
It's the addiction of it.
Yes, I mean it just leave it out of sight. That's all you have to do. I mean,
yeah, that's easy for us to say, but not for a 15-year-old.
Well, going to have to learn.
I know.
It's like people learn to stop smoking, and they learn, and it's just as dangerous. It really is. It is absolutely. And hey, people stop smoking. They don't smoke anymore, so it can be done.
Yeah, definitely. And one country has started locking up students' phones while they're in school.
Which I like that. I mean, you don't want to do it by forcing things, but that's one way to do it. The other is no phone zones. Those are popular, and maybe in restaurants and in the lunch break room or something. Yeah, you're going to have to do a little bit of that, I think. Yeah. But at any rate, it's a story.
It can be done. Okay, so now let's hop into the Celtics a little bit. Let's talk about, because my viewers don't know what I'm talking about, but there's a story here, you guys, I promise. Okay, so what was your connection, or how do you tie into the Boston Celtics?
Well, I was one of the team doctors. There's a team, 4 or 5 of us, the orthopedic, of course. They were in charge, and the cardiologist and the pulmonarian. I was the pulmonarian. So if they had any, and we did physicals. Well, you had to do physicals. That was part of the contract. And so we did the physicals. Larry Bird and then that group, it goes way back. So,
how long were you part of the team for?
About 5 years or so.
Oh, did you enjoy that stint?
Oh, it's fantastic. It was great. Yeah.
Do you like basketball?
Oh, sure. I play. My son and I play in a 1-on-1.
Word on the street is you've coached almost every sport out there.
Well, you got it.
You've done it all. You've done rugby, fishing, rowing.
Love that coaching. Yeah, started 3 years old at the YMCA in soccer. It was great, and I took coaching classes, so you work your way up. As they worked their way up, I worked my way up, and so it was great. And hockey was fantastic. Every 2 minutes you put in a new group, and then Little League and basketball, the CYO basketball in Framingham. Played Framingham. We had a playoff game with Framingham. It was down, it tied, there was 5 seconds to go. And my team was getting the ball and they're supposed to foul. That's what you're supposed to do. And he didn't. And the Framingham won a game. So, but that was Framingham. But anyway, it was, I loved it. I just loved it.
That's nice. Okay, so is there any, before we get off the topic of the Celtics, is there any, no, not is there any, I want to say, what was, at the time, what would you say was your most pleasant part of your job working with the Boston Celtics?
Oh, most pleasant was just being associated with players. I mean, they're fantastic.
They were nice guys to you?
Mixed.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, mixed. Yeah. Most were really nice. Some were just kind of obnoxious, but it was to be expected.
Right, it happens everywhere.
You know, whenever this girl, I get a stupid. But no, most of them were fine.
We're good.
No, it was great.
And then you guys traveled with the team as well?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Just orthopedic. We did, but we stayed in Boston. So.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about your stint in Hollywood for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Yeah.
What did you do? What did you do in the Hollywood?
The way that started was a book. I wrote these books, 3 or 4 books or so, and someone said, "Hey, you can make a movie out of that book." I said, "Oh, okay." So I went off to, and they call it a workshop, script writing workshop. And my wife, Joan, and I went. And so I wrote a script about a movie. It was about a doctor, it was about a boob doctor. He was a terrorist who developed a biologic weapon as a virus that caused boob. This thing was going to be in the Fenway Park when they were playing the Yankees and the Red Sox, and when they were going to expose everyone. And so the doctor had to prevent this somehow. I had to stop it, and he was surrounded by terrorists, and so that's the story. And so I wrote the story, the script. There's a certain way to write a script, and then you get the next step is you get a budget, and the budget outlines the stars and the how much money and all this kind of thing. And I got all that. You get a shooting schedule. This is the scene, that scene, got to have. And then we need $2 million. I says, well, I should be able to do that. I didn't. so there it is. But it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing I learned about Hollywood, you don't want to be there as a full-time job. I mean, you don't want to do that as a career. I was on the outside, and it's fantastic being on the outside. If you're on the inside, it is so competitive and cutthroat. Oh, yeah. They'll do anything to anybody to get ahead. Whoa, I don't need it.
I don't need it.
It was enjoyable on the outside, but no, that was it. And then I said, well, put together a series for Netflix and the Dr. Gary show. And I would have each episode would be one of those stories in South America and Africa. And I've got about 30 of them, like the baby one. And so we put that together. And again, you run into, you have to get it accepted, the whole thing. And it takes time. And so that's it. But that would have been fun. So.
Would you like to have a Hollywood stint? Now, would you?
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to sell that. I'd love to get that $2 million, and I would absolutely love to put that Netflix series together. I keep looking.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
It could happen. Yeah,
it could happen.
There's still time. Okay, so speaking of still being time, let's talk a little bit about what you're working on now. We have to talk about the book because you already mentioned it.
Okay, here we go. No, this is fantastic. Yeah. I think you'd mentioned something about hiccups along the way and challenges that people have. And I don't ever think of problems. No problems. That word we don't use. It's just a negative word. Challenges kind of come along. And I was chief of medicine at a hospital here in Boston. I loved the job. And my friend Bob said, you got to get out of there. I said, what are you talking about? That's a dream job. You got to get out of there. It's holding you back. I didn't know what he was talking about. Absolutely didn't. The good news is they threw me out. It's the best thing. A merger or something. Out. So I had a big option there. 2 options. I could go get another title and another job, whatever it is, or I just on my own. And of course I chose on my own. I mean, what? everybody said, oh, you can't risk that. You got 2 kids. You got this, that. And my biggest issue at the time was I didn't think I knew anything. I absolutely didn't, because you rely on your professors and your colleagues and everybody at work. They know everything, but you don't know anything. But that turned out not to be the case at all. So that I got over that. And then, it's hard. It is. It's hard. You struggle for a year or two. But the other thing I found out was you need to be your true self. That's that's the biggest event. You talk about lessons. The biggest event was I was going along in my little career doing this and this and this and this. And then Bob says, you got to get out of there. And then I had that choice. And I said, I'm going to be myself, just me. And before, I was chief of medicine. And I was chief of medicine at the hospital, walk around. You socially, Jill and I'd go out and think, oh, chief of medicine. Oh, not me. That's not me. I'm chief of medicine. And I realized that, no, I'm not chief of medicine. I'm me. And that was really huge. And that's the biggest lesson, is to be your true self. And it's hard to do because you risk, right? Fear and rejection and failure. Oh, of course, you can have all those. But you got all those anyhow, right? At least if it's you, it doesn't bother you because it's you. And huge difference. It's amazing. The best thing I ever did. And then that led me then to discovering a new way of life, really. And as I say, I discovered that parasite, I discovered Boop, and then I wanted to discover something to improve millions of people's lives. And this is it. And it started out in December 2019 as know who you are moment by moment. That's a philosophy. Know who you are moment by moment. It's real easy because it's what you're thinking from, right? That's who you are. If you're thinking from anger or stress, you're stressed. That's it. But if you're thinking from your heart with kindness, you're kind. So it's where you're thinking from. And then that has evolved into something that really has never been known before. And that is, we're born with an instinctive brain, primitive brain. And it gets us through infancy because we cry for food and we cry for diaper change. That's instinctive. It takes 25 years for the human brain to develop. 25 years. And so in the meantime, you're running on that primitive brain, which is not very smart. And it's very self-centered, it's all me. And so the reason it takes 25 years is extremely complex, and it does not operate on biology. It doesn't operate on biology. Biology is chemicals and formulas. It operates on quantum biology. And that's never really been discussed before. And so quantum biology, and it operates on a different brainwave frequency. This is really, and you have to learn how to use the human brain. It's crazy. You absolutely have to learn how to use the human brain. You didn't have to learn that primitive brain. That just comes along. And it's like driving a car. You have to learn how to drive a car. You have a steering wheel, and you have an accelerator, and you got a brake. 3 things. Right? Well, that beta brain, I call it the beta 14. It's called the beta brain, the instinctive brain. It's like a cozy coupe. Ever heard of a cozy coupe? Mm-mm. It's a little thing that we used to get for the kids. It has no steering wheel. It has no accelerator, no brake. That's what it's like when you're doing this beta 14. It's a little thing you run around with your feet.
Yeah.
That's the primitive brain. But let's then get to the human brain. And the human brain, the steering wheel is called alpha 12 brainwave frequency. And alpha 12 brainwave is real easy to think about. Alpha 10 slow, that's meditation. Well, meditate, you can't do anything. You're sitting there, I can't sit. I'm not going to sit. And beta 14 is beta brain waves. That's what we're born with. That's at 14. And that's just all stress. It really is. It's all stress, self-centered. It's all me, 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 me. And it's all head. It's all head stuff. But 12, it's right in between. That's perfect. It's perfect. And how do you do 12? We're at 12 right now. Conversation. That'll do it. Daydreaming. In the flow. You know when you're in the flow? Yeah. That's 12. Okay. That's 12. Okay. When you enjoy doing something, that's 12. That's all it is. It's just 12. When you enjoy doing whatever it is, whether it's a sport or writing papers or giving podcasts, it's fantastic. You have no stress. Zero stress, no anger. What's that? None of these feelings of complaining and whining and jealousy and worry and guilt. That's all 14. That's all beta 14. You can't be in beta 14 when you're 12. And so there it is. That's 12. So that's the steering wheel. Now the accelerator, a little bit more complicated. The accelerator is called this alpha quantum channel. Alpha quantum channel. The alpha is alpha 12. Quantum means that in order to have this, you have this quantum biology. Like I mentioned, in order to use the human brain, you have this quantum biology based. It's not biology based. Quantum biology is abstract. It is totally abstract. It's serendipity. It's synchronicity. It's miracles. You hear about a miracle? That's quantum biology. It's very abstract. But that's what it takes to run the human brain. And part of it is called entanglement. Quantum entanglement means you connect two distant objects together. In this case, we connect our human brain, not the primitive one, to the universe, to the mind. I call it the mind. And the mind has everything, all the information from the past, the present, the future, everything you want. And each one of us have our little channel to that. Each one of us were born with that. And whatever your skills that you were really born with, whatever you like to do since you can remember, that's your alpha channel. And that opens you up to all that information up there, everything you want. And I call it the Shakespeare effect. Shakespeare had 1,000 characters, so unique, nobody's ever been able to replicate that. And he didn't do any research. He didn't listen to anybody. He just sat there and wrote them down because that's his channel. So I see I need a king. Oh, okay. And it's 1615. What do kings look like? Oh, this is what they look like. He just looked, there it was. That's his channel. And he needed a doctor. He needed a lawyer, a queen, whatever it was. He just wrote them down. That's his channel. Do you understand that? That's the universe. That's the alpha quantum channel. You can't do that with physics and biology. It's impossible. But quantum entanglement, that's what it is. And so there you go. It's fantastic.
So is that the focus of your next book?
Oh, yeah.
Or is that, yeah?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And we have 4 or 5 years of podcasts, and that's really what we talked about. But it all starts with alpha 12. And it goes from there. And that alpha quantum channel, mine is in improving people's lives. It's really short. It's only 3 or 4 words. You figure out what yours is.
Yeah.
And Joan's is her ability to make people feel good about themselves. That's her channel. And she doesn't have to think about it. It's enjoyable. Yeah. And it's like I can do something to improve people's lives. Like I got 2 patents the other day. And I absolutely loved getting those patents because it was going to help with a product. I'm developing an alpha product. It's a cell phone product. So. You are? Yeah.
What is it that you don't do?
Oh, well, I love it all. So what can I say?
I love that. Okay, so you're working on a book, you're working on a product. What else are you working on?
That's plenty. The product, you talked about it. You talked about what your future plans are and how you're going to do it, right? That how. And obviously my plan is I this product, and the product, I have the specs for the software people. I have that 5 or 6 pages of this is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So that's off to Nepal. There's a group there that's going to do it for me. And then the next part of it is there's 2 or 3 million apps. That's a lot of competition. So you have to get people, you have to tell people about it. And you can spend $10,000 of the marketing. It does zero. Absolutely zero. $100,000 worth of marketing, zero. Absolutely not. One person will buy it with $100,000. And so I found a marketing company in New York that and it's what you need with this kind of a product is a tipping point. A tipping point is the logarithmic curve. Once it hits that curve, then it's on its own. It just grows. And to get to that, I need 100,000 users in 6 months. And so I found a company that did that in New York. And so we're going to have to do what's called the Series A because it's not $100,000. But it's worth it because otherwise don't bother to do the product. It's a waste of time. And because I've known a few doctors that have done that. So, I got to develop this, got to develop that. And they forget about the second part. And they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and it goes nowhere, nothing. And so there you go. How am I going to do this? The main thing, it takes Alpha 12 to do it. Without Alpha 12, I would never do this. And here's the thinking. Alpha 12 is the universe. When you're in that state we're in right now, there's some feelings that are really fantastic for inner strength. Courage is there. It's not in beta. Beta 14, it says, no, I can't do that, right? That's what beta 14 does. And it's just courage and it's persistence. Just keep doing it. You don't even think about it. And it's confidence that you can do it. Beta 14, I can't do that. Beta 14 is it's the break. It stops everything you're doing, no matter what. And so confidence and courage and resilience. You're gonna get you'll get absolute rejection, a failure every minute of the day. It just happens. And if you don't bounce back from those things, you're going nowhere. The beta 14, all right, I can't do that. And the big one is the determination. That's from the universe. That's from the mind. It's not from that primitive brain. Determination. And do we have a couple minutes? Yeah. Determination. These are all Alpha 12 feelings. You can't get those in the 14s. You can't beta 14 in that primitive brain. They don't have those. They got guilt, worry, revenge, all those awful things, anger, stress. Come on, that's the break. It literally stops everything. And with these feelings, determination, it can save your life. There's a show, Dancing with the Stars. My wife loves dancing with. She did dancing in school, so of course I'm gonna watch this. I mean, she watches my things, I watch her. And there's the host, one of my favorite dancers. Now he's a judge. He and his wife used to dance all over the world. And he had his show, started his show and is waiting for his wife, and she was comatose right over there. She'd had a massive bleed to the head. She's in her 40s or 30s or something. In the hospital, the surgeon's on, we'll be lucky to get through the night, that kind of thing. And they did get through the night. She was in her ICU. He slept the bed right there beside And he gave her love and support and healing just all the time. That's all he did. She felt that because of quantum biology. And her people all over the world gave her support and prayers and all of this. She felt every one of those because of quantum biology. It's called quantum tunneling. Quantum tunneling means an object can pass through a barrier instantly. Physics requires time and energy to get through a brick wall. No, quantum biology, you're there. And kindness from the heart. Kindness comes from the heart, and that's quantum tunneling. And kindness from the heart, we got to be kind to ourselves first. You got to always be kind to yourself. You can't beat yourself up. Everybody else is. You got to be kind to yourself. And you feel it everywhere. And how do you do that? It's quantum tunneling. You can't do that with physics. It would be nothing. You can't pass through all that. And people from 5, 10 feet can feel that kindness from the heart. And so she felt that. She got through her coma 4 or 5 days later, and she woke up and determined to dance again. And of course, everybody, you look at even walk. In determination. And that did it. It did it, that word. Because that's not from the head. It's not from beta. It's from the hours. You get all that energy. You really get to use all that energy. And so she danced a year later on the show. She and her husband. It was the most beautiful dance I'd ever seen. 30 years of the show. It's amazing.
Oh, my God.
That's all quantum biology.
That's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Iron go.
We just don't even know how powerful we really are.
That's the point. It takes 25 years.
To even
That is so powerful. This idea of the brain being able to use the mind. Yeah. No other species can do that. I don't even mean in the universe. I don't know. But the brain, the human brain, can use all of that information. It's an infinite amount. It's not only, for example, the guy, the Tesla guy, Elon Musk. Elon Musk has all these space. He's got this. He goes into SpaceX. He says, "What's the problem today?" So they get the guys. Look at the problem. Oh, we can't get any parts from Detroit. And Elon Musk says, "Oh, this is what you do," and he leaves. That's his channel. He knows what every situation has happened when somebody doesn't get a part from Detroit. And he knows how to solve it because it's all up in his little channel. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Amazing.
It's fantastic. And so that's what I'm doing, is trying to get the product out so people can learn how to use the Alpha 12. That's the whole purpose of the product. And to live that way. It's fantastic. But nobody believes me. Absolutely.
They never do until it's successful.
They don't. They absolutely don't believe me. I can't get one person. I wrote a scientific article. The human brain requires quantum biology. And they sent it off to some frontiers of neurophysiology or something. He wrote back the nastiest thing. They said, "Oh, there's some serious problems with this paper." It was serious problem. What are you talking about? So that was totally rejected. And then that was just last week. And then I wanted to learn about quantum biology. And I got a hold of a quantum physicist in England, Oxford. And we had a Zoom call. And I was talking to him. I said, "Oh, that's fantastic. You get quantum tunneling and the kindness, and quantum entanglement and hook up with the mind, and quantum superposition. You can think from the mind and from the gut and from the heart and from the muscles all at the same time. And a quantum observer." Oh, that's fantastic. And they looked at me like they said, "Oh, you can't do that." That was their exact words. "You can't do that." That was the end of the conversation. So all I did was apply this to the human body. You can't do that. Well, anyhow, this got a long way to go.
Oh my gosh, but it's going to be like mind blowing once you finally get there.
Yeah, it'd be so fantastic.
Literally, oh my gosh.
It'd be exciting.
I'm excited. I'm excited for where this goes.
It'd be exciting.
How eye-opening you'll leave everyone. Eye-opened. Okay, so there's a closing question that I ask all of my guests that I'm going to ask you. Okay, so I created this platform so people could learn. I think knowledge is like one of the greatest things that we have. So I want to know from you, what is one thing that you wish more people knew? And it can be in regards to anything, quantum physics, anything you want. The world, just anything. What is one thing that you wish more people knew?
Alpha 12. Real easy. Alpha 12. It's a brain upgrade. That's my new thing, is a brain upgrade. TED Talk or whatever it is. Brain upgrade. Alpha 12. Just amazing. 99% of the people in the world, there's 7 billion people, do not use Alpha 12. They're on it. They're a beta 14. The stress level in the world is 6.5 out of 10. That's disease stress. It really is. Come on. I have zero stress. You have zero stress when you're in Alpha 12. Zero stress. You can't have any stress because that's at 14. You can't be at 14. And so that's it. Alpha 12. The whole world, you imagine what a world would be like with no stress. I mean, talk to people like that'd be fantastic. And how about if the leaders didn't have any anger? Come on.
You're kind of explaining a utopia here.
Well, that's Alpha 12. See, that's human beings.
Yeah.
The other is really not human beings. At 14, it's not human beings. That's primitive brain behavior. We're humans. And human beings have two characteristics. They're kind to each other and they help each other. That's it. If you don't do those two things, that's not being a human being. And you just every day, I mean, 95% of the people do not use that Alpha 12. And so that's an easy one. Alpha 12. Oh, it's fantastic. It is the most amazing thing. And the whole world is Alpha 12.
I'm so happy that you uncovered that. And I'm more excited to learn more about it as you continue your journey, because it's going to be so helpful for so many people.
Oh, it will be. It will be.
Thank you so much, Dr. Epler, for coming today. I appreciate it.
This is great.
And letting me rack your brain. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching if you watched. Thank you for listening if you listened. You can catch Through with a Splash of Tea every Wednesday and Thursday on all streaming platforms, including YouTube. Bye now.